comprehensive breakdown of Professor Jiang's analysis. Today, we are moving past the daily headlines. We aren't talking about drone counts or political tweets. We are diving into the most unsettling question of the current global landscape. Can America actually stop this war? Professor Jiang recently laid out a chilling argument. He suggests that the United States is no longer the pilot of this conflict. It's a passenger. He describes a trap, a situation where going forward leads to a quagmire and going backward leads to economic collapse. In this breakdown, we are going to dissect the four pillars of his argument. The momentum of war. The ceasefire, trapped the $39 trillion problem. The mission creep of Karg Island. The failed war games. Professor Jiang begins by comparing the current tension to the war in Ukraine. In February 2022, everyone thought a deal could be reached. 4 years later, the grinding continues. Why? Asterisk the psychological point of no return. Once blood is spilled and billions are spent, rational exits disappear. For a leader to stop, they must accept humiliation. Asterisk the momentum. War is a machine. Once you turn it on, it controls the politicians. Asterisk the Iranian context. Jiang argues that Iran isn't just fighting for territory. They are fighting for a new Middle East where the U.S. doesn't exist. This makes a simple truce impossible. If America can't leave, can it win? Jiang looks at the rumor of 200 Marines heading toward Karg Island. Asterisk the strategic value. Karg handles 90% of Iran's oil. Take it seems like a win. Asterisk the geography's trap. You can't just hold an island. To protect the island, you need the coast. To protect the coast, you need the mountains. Asterisk the Vietnam echo. He cites 1965. America sent 3,000 Marines to Da Nang for a limited mission. By 1969, there were 500,000. Asterisk sunk cost fallacy. Once you lose 100 soldiers, you can't leave, or their deaths were 4-0. So you send 10,000 more. This is a surgical strike becomes a 20-year land war. The most shocking part of Jiang's analysis is his claim about U.S. military simulations. He asserts that when the Pentagon war games a full-scale invasion of Iran, America loses. Asterisk asymmetric warfare, the U.S. is built for shock and destroying a central government quickly. Asterisk the Iranian playbook. Iran has spent 20 years studying U.S. failures in Iraq and Afghanistan. They don't use tanks in the open. They use swarms of drones, hypersonic missiles, and hidden mountain batteries. Asterisk the carrier problem. The USS Gerald Ford and Abraham Lincoln are sitting ducks if they get within range of Iran's coastal missiles. The US cannot risk a $13 billion carrier being sunk, so they stay out of the fight, rendering their greatest power useless. Professor Jiang concludes with a plea for a new world order. Argues that the era of the unchallenged hegemony, the U.S. as the world's only boss, is over. His proposed solution. Asterisk stop the bullying. Move from a domination model to a partnership model. Asterisk the grand bargain. Sit down with Russia, China, and Iran. Acknowledge their regional interests. Asterisk retreat with dignity. Stop maintaining 800-plus overseas bases that the U.S. can no longer afford. The final thought. Is America capable of this wisdom? Or will the sunk cost fallacy drive the nation into a conflict that breaks the global financial system? Professor Jiang's message is clear. The trap is set. Every day the U.S. waits to negotiate from a position of remaining strength. The eventual exit becomes more painful. Closing. America is trapped. It cannot go forward, and it cannot go back. What do you think? Is Professor Jiang right about the Petrodollar collapse? Or is he underestimating American resilience?